Welcome, moon lovers. This is Imber, and today we take 8 minutes on the clock to discuss a very important topic for unlocking the magic within. So, good morning, Kathy. How are you?
Good morning. I'm great.
Tell me how excited you are for this new moon energy. And with every new moon energy, we have a new topic, rekindle. How's it feeling so far?
Very like I've lit a fire under myself, which is really kind of cool. Um,
Nice.
yeah, definitely I can feel the change in the energy. I know Mercury is direct, so I know that that's part of it too. Not only do we have the new moon, but we actually have that release from the Mercury retrograde. So I feel,
Ooh,
maybe
yeah.
that's got a little play with it, but I love the topic, like the rekindle, even though I know like we worked in the earth sign and fire sign and but it feels expansive, I guess, is really the possibilities really feel exciting.
The new moon is there's always, there's so many different adjectives that you can throw with the feeling and the energy of the new moon. And I always like to find one that kind of flows with our topic of the month. And rekindle says so much, rekindle passion. And I've got a more direct question for you coming up. But the connection I wanted to make first is that new moon word that connects for me, my opinion is rebirth. It's
Yeah.
always a time for rebirth. And feel that with this rekindle topic so much right now. So it feels like this time is so important. And you're right, it probably has something to do with, the retrograde being out of Mercury or Mercury being out of retrograde now. It probably does release a little something and give some space for that feeling. But I've got a question for you. And really what feels very important in this kind of meditative rebirth, fresh noon moon topic is how do you connect with source, universe, God? And you tell me your thoughts on that.
Well, I love that question actually, and something that coming from an organized religion background. So I love the connection word, that rebirth, because yeah, I think of that with the new moon as well. And then yeah, adding this rekindle to it is really just creating that expansiveness is what it feels like, and yet with depth. And so coming from that religious background, it's really been interesting to me because I personally struggled with having a relationship. I've always had a relationship with God, universe, source, um, but it was more of a pressured relationship, like even having like a religion class, you know.
Oh, and like family forcing you to go to church or
Yes,
Catholic
yes,
school.
those right,
Yeah.
exactly, yes. Which there's nothing wrong with that. Like I understand organized religion and that there's a place for that, but for me it really felt like I've always had that relationship, like I said, but in a different way. It felt very forced in the past. It was something I had to do. It was like a requirement. And so now through doing being more in touch with nature, connecting with the moon and the cycles, and really exploring myself and what I want to experience and the relationship I want to experience with my creator has really opened up, just once again this expansiveness that I keep talking about, but it's because of it feels like there's such depth to it. And so how I do that is through alignment practices of saying, the very first thing I do as soon as I open my eyes, it's like, thank you. Thank you for a new day, for my senses to have that vision, for my breath, for the feelings in my body. And as we age, it feels a little different, but yet just so grateful for everything. And so I feel like that's the connection. So the alignment practice, and then really looking at everything with gratitude and just being grateful to experience life on number one, an elevated level, because I've gone from I have to, forced to I get to do this and I want to do it and I want to have that rich, meaningful life. And that's the way that I experience it.
That's
So,
beautiful.
great question.
It's beautiful. Okay, so what are you rekindling this moon cycle? Or what do you
Rekindling,
want to rekindle?
yeah, because I've just kind of started, but yet it's my passion. It's because that is one of our keys. Um, is really the passion of creativity. Like that's what really lights my soul on fire, and that's I'm I'm a creator, and I love to create, and I guess not create people, but really enhance people's lives. Like I actually was going back through some old stuff, and I read something from grade school, or it had to have been grade school. It was either grade school or very early high school. But it was like the teacher said, you're a light in people's life or something like that. It was so interesting that it's like we all have our own natural tendencies, right? And then we get to cultivate whatever we want to experience. But to see that, and it's like that I'm still on that path, but I've known very early, and we all know, like that's the thing is we come to Earth with a set of instructions and a mission, and it where we unlock the magic here at Luna's Vault, it's remembering that. And I just happen to have a physical piece of paper with that reminder. But so many times we put all of our baggage on top of that mission, that purpose that we came into
Dim
Earth with.
that light. Yeah, that dim
Yes.
light
Yeah.
completely.
Yes. And so to have that physical reminder was like, okay, yes, that's where my magic is helping to bring out the best in others, like be that catalyst for change, supporting, and then showing my beautiful creations off, whatever that looks like of, my divine art alchemy. Just sharing that to me brings joy and really experiencing yeah, that's my rekindle is to rekindle me and that passion and flame instead of with the bog down of day to day. But there's our time. Okay. So let me turn that off here. So we've covered a lot in our 8 minutes. And my big takeaway was do the work, take time to do the work. And maybe if you do have little things that you can go back over, remember why you're here. Remember what your purpose is. And if you are still, wanting support with that, obviously come into Luna's Vault Academy and let us support you. But what was the key takeaway for you?
I, I, my key takeaway is about the working with the moon's energy and the realization of the rebirth, connecting it to rekindle and rebirth, and the importance of using the moon cycles to do that. Yeah,
Always. It
yeah.
really is. Yeah, just taking that moment of even just yeah. Each moon cycle we get a different phase to work through, but it's taking the time to do it, to do the work, even if it's just that few minutes. But I think as
Couple of
people,
minutes each day.
yeah,
Even what we focus on is, coming together as a community once a week at the major moon phases, and that's fantastic. But from there, just to take a moment each day of a reminder of for ourselves, what we could do today to make a difference in our own life.
I love it. That's perfect. So, all right. So, all you moon lovers listening, come in and talk to us. Send us a DM or an email. Any questions, takeaway, feedback, experiences. And then next week we'll be back and we'll be in that first quarter moon, which is all about the action, putting our action steps in. So stay tuned. Our key next week will be what ignites your fire. So looking forward to hearing more about that. So
Exciting. Happy manifesting.
happy manifesting.